Hey everyone, I'm Kristen, the cross stitching runner, and welcome to my channel. I want to say a big hello and welcome to all new and returning viewers, and if by chance you've stumbled across this channel is all about cross stitch with a bit of life stuff thrown in, and this particular episode is my first week of Christmas stitching, and I also want to start talking a little bit about January. I know it's still a long way off. We're about a month and a half away from an awesome event that is going to be happening. It'll be the second time this event will be held. It is the Great Aussie Shindig, and if by chance you are a regular viewer of my channel, you will have heard me talking about the Great Aussie Shindig starting roughly this time last year perhaps, and the really cool thing is that it's going to be happening again in 2026 around the long weekend of Australia Day. This time around I'm just going to be the Flosstube event component of it. At the start of this year I had been contributing as a designer as well. Life events have meant that I really only have the capacity as a Flosstuber to participate this time around. So the really cool thing with the Aussie Shindig is that it is pretty much going to be the same as the first time around, where you get to meet a wonderful group of people who are Aussie Flosstube, or it's all Aussie themed, but we're talking about Flosstubers, we're talking about cross-stitch designers. I understand that there may even be a wonderful person or wonderful team who are becoming quite well known as the needle-minded peoples to go to. So I am very much looking forward to participating, and I'm looking forward to seeing who's coming this time around as far as Flosstubers, creatives and such are concerned, and I will talk a bit more about it as time goes on. I understand that tickets will be for sale shortly, if not available now. I strongly recommend you go and check out the Paddock Lane Designs website, or reach out to Lisa, who is the wonderful person behind the Great Aussie Shindig, and find out more details if you're interested, especially if you're an Aussie person and you're able to somehow be involved, because that would be really cool to see this event grow more and really promote some amazing Aussies that are part of this stitching community. So Great Aussie Shindig, it is happening next year in January, and it'll be awesome to see you there. It'll be awesome. So let's get into the stitching side of things. And with this first week of really getting into Christmas stitching, I have, I guess as of today a little bit and a little bit last night, started putting some stitching into a piece that is officially known as Cuddly Christmas or Cuddly Owls. I've nicknamed it Midnight Christmas or Midnight Owls because we'll soon see. Now, with Cuddly Owls or Cuddly Christmas, they are part of the World of Cross Stitching magazine, and it is issue 274, and it's the owls, where are we, that we are going to be looking at. This is where me being organised would have been absolutely wonderful to preempt what's going on. Now, with Christmas Cuddles, that was it. So Christmas Cuddles is designed by Jenny Barton, and this is roughly what it will look like when it's done. I am using all of the called for colours, and I am stitching this on 14 count navy blue Aida, and noting that it's not ironed because it will be going back into the hoop. I have the aim of stitching more of it for the rest of this afternoon and hopefully into tomorrow as well. So this is where I'm up to so far. I've been focusing on the owl that's starting to form next to the owl with the green scarf. Now the gaps that we see for the eyes of the owls at the moment, and then the gaps in the green scarf, that's where beads are due to go, and I'll have to wait and see. I'm pretty sure that I've got the beads that I need, and if not, I will be resourceful and creative and find something that I think will suit. I do have some beads in mind where a few years ago I had bought a pack of green and a pack of red beads, and I couldn't get any smaller pack, but I've got quite a lot left over. It was for when I was stitching. Do I have it with me? I think I do. Yes. Okay, so behind me, I'll just see if I can move. Yeah. So behind me you'll see trains, and it is meant to say Merry Christmas. Bear with me. I'll just go and get it. Okay, so it's meant to say Christmas wishes. I took a lot of creative license, so to speak, with this, where I personalised it unknowingly and then had to personalise it again to balance things out for my unknowing creativity. But it does have some green and red beads in this. This is a Shannon Christine Designs piece, and I'm not sure if I have the magazine that this particular chart was from, but it was a very fun piece to stitch, and it was very tempting to have lollies nearby when I was stitching it. And this was stitched on 14 count Aida. It's one of those fabrics that were printed on one side, so the green marble that we can sort of vaguely see here, the green marble is printed on one side, and then it's just a pale green on the underside. And I had initially had the intention of stitching this for my nephew, and I obviously never gave it to him because I really was unhappy with my finishing of this, so I decided to keep it. Now with the Christmas Cuddles, using all the called for colours, I am slowly trying to do backstitch as I go. Wait and see as to how well that works. Okay, now the next piece I have to share with you is not a Christmas piece, but it is one that has goals. So the next piece that I put some work into was Under the Sea, designed by Durene Jones, to be exclusively with Lakeside Needlecrafts. I really hope I got that name right, because I think last week I may have made a mistake with the naming of the store. If I did, I'm really sorry. So with Under the Sea, I am stitching this on 28 count opalescent fabric, hand dyed by Paddock Lane Designs. It is called Tropical Ocean, which I think is rather fitting for this particular piece. I've been able to put some more work into the mermaid. I am about 90% finished with the mermaid. I have run out of the colour of one thread, and I'm struggling to find and remember where I put at least 2 other threads. So I may need to press some buttons to purchase some more thread, or I think if I can't find the colours I'm looking for, button pressing may be the best approach. I could even do some travelling down towards Crafty Frog, because they are the most reliable store compared to some others in Canberra, big franchises that struggle to keep things stocked well. So I am very much happy and loving the progress in this. I also, just while I'm thinking and holding on to Under the Sea, do a shout out and thank you very much to Tess and Linda, 2 of my stitching friends who I caught up with this morning as part of the monthly catch up that some of the Canberra stitchers do. I had packed everything that I needed except for a needle and needle minder. So Tess and Linda helped me out with that, and I am super thankful for that, because it would have felt almost but not quite pointless me doing the trip. It still would have been fantastic to catch up with Tess and Linda and third friend who I will learn their name soon. It was fantastic catching up with them, and all will be good. So it meant that I actually got to do some stitching, and I'm happy. I also, just while I think of it, within a space of short time of stitching, I stitched this little guy here, and then I also put the metallic stitching into the 2 fish that are just in front of the mermaid. They had metallic stripes in them, and yeah, all is good. I'll get the back stitching done for the mermaid and those 3 fishes once I've got the full stitching sorted out for the mermaid. And then the third bit of Christmas, the actual third piece that I worked on, but second piece of Christmas stitching, is called Mewoy Christmas, and it's charted by Kustom Krafts, designed by Diane Allaire. And this particular piece, I believe I started last year, I think. I definitely didn't stitch it this year. So last year sometime. I'm stitching this on 14 count pink Aida that I had purchased from the south coast in Mogo, where there is a quilting and crafting store. And the really cool thing is that we can start to see the formation of the cat with the black stitching that we see. We can actually, as part of the black stitching, see a bit of the eye of one of the kittens. So just as a bit of perspective, let's bring this across. So we can see that with one of the kittens, it's got a bit of black around it. So that's a formation of things that are happening. And I am getting about four rows away from the bottom of page 1, and as part of the black stitching I am a little bit across, and I have started a little bit of the stitching on page 2, but I just really wanted to get that bit of black stitching done. And with Mewoy Christmas, it got most of the attention for the week that we've just had. With my newish job, I'm working 2 days in the office and 3 days at home. This has been my first full week of the job, and it will only get easier from here, from now onwards. For the whole time that I've started with this job, for the last week and a half, I've been feeling so tired by the end of it. It's been been long days in the sense that I'm back in my old routine of getting up early, going to the gym. The difference is that I'll come home, change, get ready for work, and if I'm in the office, I'll then catch the transport that I need for getting into work, and I'll then do work and come home. Some days I'm not home until nearly 6 o'clock, but that's just because of transport and the amount of time that I need to be at work for. Sorry, I'm looking out the window as well because it's overcast and I'm anticipating there to hopefully be some kind of storm or rain or something. I don't know if it will happen. I hope it will. I'll get to that soon. So with me working from home from Wednesday through to Friday, it has been fantastic because I've been able to get some stitching done either during my lunch break or if I've not gone to the gym in the morning, I've been able to start work just a little bit earlier. Sorry, I feel like I'm going to sneeze and I'm trying to not sneeze, so that's the faces that I'm pulling right now. So with Mewoy Christmas, I'm smiling at it fondly because for the 3 days that I was really able to focus on it, I binge watched a mini series on Netflix called Ripple. It is a fantastic little show. It is not the typical kind of show that I watch, noting that I do watch the likes of Gilmore Girls and The Good Witch and such as well if I'm needing that palate cleanser, so to speak, from some of the more dark, morbid and macabre style of shows and movies and such. So Ripple was fantastic. It may be a new miniseries on Netflix, and if you haven't watched it already and you're needing something nice to watch, it's not as fluffy as Gilmore Girls or The Good Witch. Its filming style is similar to the movie Love Actually, and it's called Ripple because of the ripple effect that can happen when you say throw a rock into a body of water, or even if it's just a drip of water from a tap faucet into, say, the bathtub. You then see the ripple effects of that surface of water being sort of broken, and so it's got the ripples. And it was interesting how different things can occur and what sort of ripple effect it has on a community, and how it can bring people together, or just how it affects people. So in Ripple we get to know a group of about 8 different people. I'm guessing might be a little bit more. Each of them have their own different backstories, different lives, but somehow, because of the ripple effect, in each episode they are brought together, and it's quite heartwarming, I think, how that can happen. And it's almost like a sliding doors kind of moment as well, like the movie and the saying as well. So it's pretty cool. I'm not going to go into full details. What I will say is that the second last episode especially is really sad. So if you are inclined to feel emotional and have a little bit of a cry, movies, TV shows and that kind of thing, make sure you have your tissues ready, because there is at least one episode that I at least found quite sad. Depending on your circumstances and life experiences, you may find some other episodes to be quite tough and quite sad as well. So just a bit of a heads up. But if you haven't seen Ripple and you would like to, look it up on the internet, at least check it out, to see if it is your cup of tea. And I hope you like it if you choose to watch it. The good thing though was that my boyfriend was out of town for those 3 days, so I got to have that cry and be okay. It helped a lot. So yeah, Ripple was a good show. It was a very good show. It was not what I was expecting at all, and it would be a show that I'd probably watch a few times over as well. And I would love to think that there would be a follow-up to Ripple. So whether there's like a second season or something, if it becomes like that, I would love for that to happen, because with the way the last episode finished off, there were a few loose ends where I could use my imagination to guess how things would work out for some of the characters. But it would be nice to have at least like a movie length episode or a second season to help with finalizing the loose ends that happened. So fingers crossed. The other show that we've started watching again last night, or as of last night, getting back into watching Stranger Things, because here in Australia the 5th season is due to drop around Boxing Day, and we started watching the first episode of the 4th season, and it took a little bit for me at least to get my head back into gear as to how the last episode finished off, to then remember going, oh yes, that's right, that's what's going on. And what I'm liking is that we're seeing the introduction of 2 new characters, or new to me, and I'm liking that, because I've started seeing a lot of stuff coming up on my social media feeds because of this 5th season, and I've been enjoying watching like the mini interviews and such with Jamie Campbell Bowen, who does plays 3 parts in Stranger Things. And if you're a fan of Stranger Things, and I don't know if the 5th season has been available worldwide and it's just been slow release. Anyway, if you've seen the 4th season already, then you'll know what I mean. My fascination at the moment with the dude Jamie is that he has this really cool presence when he's just talking to camera, being himself to a sense of, like in the interviews and such, and doing what he needs to do for promoting Stranger Things. And what has got me fully fascinated is that he has his regular speaking voice and such, and then when he's asked to do the voice for Vecna, that is just sort of initially messed with my mind for a bit, but in a good way. It's a bit like seeing for the first time the people who were the voice actors behind the Simpsons characters, and actually just seeing their amazing talent of being able to switch from one character to the next, for the characters that they do in that show. That is always amazing, and I love their talent for it. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of the episodes of Stranger Things, just to really understand and appreciate the bits of social media stuff that I've been watching. What else have I been watching? Last week on Sunday, I watched Strictly Ballroom again when I was working on Mewoy Christmas. It was wonderful watching that movie again as a bit of that nostalgia thing going on. The other cool thing is that I have I'm now a member of the library again here in Canberra. When I was a kid growing up, Mum made sure that we were members of the library, and I have fond memories of, especially in school holidays, going to the library and borrowing books and all the rest. And being out at the farm, it was a bit awkward, that's the best way I can put it. It was awkward, where I would struggle to remember that I had to return the book by a particular time, even though we did have like those little receipt things. It was just that awkwardness with life of then remembering going, yep, okay, I've got to go and return the book. And for the longest time, Dixon Library was the closest library to us, and that was about a 30-minute drive at least, from the farm. And then Gungahlin eventually opened up, but by then I was in my early 20s, so life was different again. So sorry about that. A part of the filming, or a part of that episode, I was starting to get just a little bit too cryptic and not making a lot of sense. And it was at the stage where I was not prepared to share certain information about circumstances. So thank you for bearing with me with regards to the editing that has happened between the first part of the Flosstube episode and here and now. All I'm trying to say is that I am very much happy that I've gotten over a mental block, really, that I had around being a member of the library again with ACT. And I love now that I have access to an app on my phone that's connected to my library membership that will enable me to listen to audiobooks. And this was something that I probably could have done in years gone by, where I probably could have I would have needed to borrow, back in the day, CDs or tapes, or cassette tapes to actually listen to an audiobook. And when I was younger, being like a kid going to teenage years, and even in my early 20s, it didn't seem like not necessarily the cool thing to do, but it seemed like an older person thing to do, noting that was the perspective from a young, naive person compared with I guess my views of the world now that I'm a bit older. So it's the fact that now there's so much more available as far as audiobooks are concerned, and that technology has changed, and so I can actually listen to the audiobooks via my phone. I don't need to worry about having like a Discman or Walkman or a cassette player or anything like that, lugging that around with me. So I'm looking forward to being able to trying that out, because I've never really borrowed an audiobook. If there's been any audiobooks that I'm interested in, I've actually pressed buttons and purchased the book, and 9 times out of 10 I've gotten pretty lucky with the audiobooks that I've listened to, where I've actually enjoyed listening to them. And speaking of which, I'm actually listening to an audiobook at the moment when I'm travelling to and from work, when I'm needing to be in the office, and it's this audiobook called The Spell Shop. I'll put screenshots and such up for all of that, and I don't know how many chapters there are for this audiobook. I've not looked up the details, but I hadn't realised how much of a fantastical world this particular book is part of, and I'm also, hopefully as part of me capturing screenshots and things for this Flosstube episode, I'll be able to find out if it is just a standalone book or if it's part of a series, because there are parts of this book where I start feeling like, oh, is it getting towards the end yet? Surely it can't finish yet, because X, Y, and Z need to still happen. And but then if it's sort of finished up roughly where I'm up to right now, that could then lead into future books. So that said, the Spell Shop is a really interesting listen to at the moment, and if you've got the physical book, you'll hopefully know what I mean in terms of just how well it's been written, and the person who's actually reading the book for the audio book component does it really well. And I've actually later into the book come across my favourite character called Meep. I love it. I just love the fact of the name of the character, and just how fun it is to hear the word Meep, let alone to even say it out loud. And that Meep is a cactus that has formed a personality through magic, or has actually come about because of magic, and the only thing it actually is able to say is the word meep, which is how it got its name. And it is just a cool little side character. I think it's absolutely awesome, and I think Meep's just fun. And what it also has me thinking of is back in the day of being a kid and watching Sesame Street, and the aliens of I'm doing the hand movement, which is how the aliens move their mouth and make the sounds. It's very similar to Meep, but I can't remember it just right now. If I could, I'd make the sounds. So I'm very much enjoying listening to Spell Shop. That helps with travel time a bit, because it takes half an hour or so on the tram to get from Gungahlin into Civic. So that's been pretty cool. It's helped a lot, because sadly with the setup of the tram, it's not conducive to me doing any kind of cross stitch, and it's not like the trains around Sydney or anything like that, or if you're catching it from, say, Wollongong up to Sydney or anything like that, it's a bit different. So there's been that. So yeah, just enjoying that I've got a library membership again, because I loved having the library membership with Wollongong, because the Wollongong City Library was part of the same building that I worked in, and it was really good to be able to just pop downstairs and then start walking through the stacks a bit to pick out a book that I might have wanted to read. And I almost got to know the library quite well in terms of the adult fiction section, and knowing which areas I wanted to pop around to see what books by particular authors were there. So I'm at the stage of getting to know the library again, getting to know my local branch, and eventually during my lunch break for Civic, I'll be able to pop into there and check out the stacks there. So I feel a bit nervous about popping into the Civic Library, because I felt nervous with popping into the Gungahlin Library, because the libraries are my old stomping ground, so to speak. One of my first jobs was shelving books for a lot of the branches at the library, and I got to know some of the staff quite well, and in one case very well. So that's sort of where I just have this little bit of awkwardness, even though so much time has passed, that I just feel a bit nervous, but it'll be okay. It's a bit like ripping that band-aid off. Once a band-aid is ripped off, everything will be alright. Probably won't be as bad as what I'm imagining in my mind. So the other cool thing is, like, with visiting some of the different branches, is that I then sort of get to see some of the different books that are on the shelves, even though I can request to have a book from one library be brought over to another branch, and it's all good. But it's okay. It's all good. With all of that said and done, this is pretty much it for this episode. Thank you for hanging around with me for this slightly disjointed episode, and I hope you got a bit of stitching done, and I'm looking forward to getting a little bit more stitching done with my Christmas themed projects. And the really cool thing is that it is 2 to 3 weeks until Christmas. It's gonna be cool. Otherwise, I will catch you all later. If you like this episode, I would love a thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed and would like to be subscribed and receive more notifications about any future episodes that I release, I would love it if you could hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, so that way you are able to receive the notifications about the episodes. Until next time, I will see you next week, and happy stitching.